you know how I and many of my colleagues feel about the Iraq War. Supported it, still believe we did the right thing. But I think there's a broad sense of trauma still among both foreign policy people, experts, practitioners, policymakers, and in the American public that ask whether everything is going to become another Iraq. Syria is going to become another Iraq, and everything else we do is going to become another Iraq. And the president, of course, has stayed as far away from what's going on the ground in Iraq as he possibly can. Do you see a lot of the problems that we're facing today as blowback from that?
Well, I think to some extent, people who say that, well, we've got war worries, so we really want to disengage from the rest of the world, have learned some of the wrong lessons from Iraq. To me, the lesson we should have learned from Iraq is that it's a mistake to pull the plug on a fragile democracy before it's able to stand on its own two legs. And obviously Japan and Germany, where we maintained a military presence after World War II as they transitioned into democracies, they have become two of the most successful economic powers and democracies in the world. So, I agree that the Iraq War, that Saddam Hussein was a threat there, that Iraq's better off today than it was under Saddam Hussein. But the fact of the matter is, and this is the lesson I think we all have learned from Iraq, is that, as Ambassador Ryan Crocker pointed out, there were no Nelson Mandelas in Iraq because Saddam killed all of them. And so just as we saw in Egypt with the rise of the Muslim Brotherhood, that democracy is great, but democracy is more than just having an election, particularly one that might be the very last election that's ever held, because they lack institutions that we take for granted in this country that make for civil society and make for true representative democracy.